BodyBags, where horror lies.
Guys, Rob from Georgia here with you, aka VHS82 apostrophe. I'm your regular Wednesday evening host here at BodyBags. It is week 520. It is second week in, so it's either a label or a year, and in this case, it is a year, and we're looking at films from the year 2023. I'm looking at the film entitled The Tank. It is a Scott Walker film. Surprisingly, to me, I didn't realize this just until a few minutes ago, but it's a New Zealand film. I should have known because Whelan does the practicals, mostly all practicals here. Really, let me just read the back of this here. After unexpectedly inheriting and mysteriously abandoning coastal property, Ben packs up his family and travels to explore the place. Bewildered about why his mother had never mentioned its existence, however, her reason for secrecy soon becomes clear when the family accidentally frees the ancient, long-dormant creature that had terrorized the entire region for generations, including Ben's own parents. The setup to this is actually pretty intriguing. Well, let's see. The writing could have been tightened up a little bit, but I don't think it's near as bad as some of the reviews I've seen out there. Look, if you're in the mood for just a good creature feature, one that's practically done, one that Whelan's involved with, and by the way, the cinematographer here, Aaron Morton, is the guy who shot the Evil Dead remake back in 2013. Richard Taylor is, of course, in charge of the practicals, and this is a Well Go USA release. So basically, we open up with Ben and his wife. They own an exotic animal store of sorts, and they get a visit, unexpected visit from a lawyer or an attorney who tells them basically of this long-lost coastal property that basically is his to do whatever he wants to do with. And so they... when this surprises them because this property has remained a secret for decades, and so they decide to go check it out. Now, it's kind of cool when they first get there. It is a long roadway all the way down a dirt roadway to the property in question. And when they get there and they see the house for the first time, you really can't see the house because the house is completely overgrown. It reminds you in a way of the Deep House, except this one is not underwater like the Deep House was, but overgrown. And I think, to me, the most curious thing was their decision not to just go out as an entire family to visit the property, one that's basically not been tended to in decades, and basically in the middle of this wilderness coastal area. Now, I do believe it's the Pacific coast in question here, although this is a New Zealand film and it was filmed in New Zealand, so it is gorgeous just to look at the coastal areas, and it's just gorgeous, and that lends quite a bit to the overall aesthetics of the film. It's interesting. It does have a northern Pacific coastal feel, though, which is interesting. But when they get there, they make the decision to not only go into the property, but literally move in of sorts. And now it's not, decided whether they're like moving in, but I mean, they go in to spend the night and everything. And I'm thinking, this house has sat there for decades. I don't know if I would personally feel safe being in a house overnight like that, especially with my little one and everything. But anyway, so they do, but this is a creature feature, right? And so there is a huge water tank on the, just adjacent to the house, right next to the house on the property. And so this is, of course, this will become the entrance meeting our antagonists, which are these sort of salamander-like creatures that have been living hidden or hiding for decades, not really bothering anyone. But now there's a family picking up residence. Now, the last family to live in this house was, of course, Ben's parents. And there's a lot of intrigue about their past. He, in terms of his sister and his dad dying, he's led to believe one thing when, in fact, they find out it's another thing. And I mean, The writing, I don't want to say is like absolutely just sloppy, but I mean, it's interesting. If you just go along with it for the ride because you're just in the mood for a creature feature, I don't think half the stuff that really bothers a lot of people is not going to bother you very well. I don't know. I got a kick out of it. I thought in terms of the family dynamics was really good. It was cast well, believable. The family is believable. I'll say that. And the effects of the creatures are pretty believable. So of course this becomes a siege film for survival. And I mean, my kids liked it. My little ones, we all watched it one afternoon together, and I got a kick out of it. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's a Walmart special, but a lot of time, or I'll just say, sometimes you can score pretty big. Now, I wouldn't put this anywhere near how I feel about We Are Still Here. Pick that off the Walmart shelf for cheap, and that movie's freaking awesome. But yeah, I saw this, I revisited this again for a second time, and I actually liked it a little bit better the second time, and I think this is one of those movies I'm going to just pop in every once in a while. So if you haven't seen it yet, and it just happens to still be on the shelf at Walmart near you, and it's only I say it's worth $10. I mean, for $10, you're buying Richard Taylor, Weta, the cinematographer from Evil Dead remake, and a New Zealand film that's shot beautifully, aesthetically, just looks really awesome. And let me just say, I would absolutely die if I found out I had a property like this that was willed to me and I never knew about. That would just be insane. Absolutely. So The Tank here in 2023, it'll be interesting to see how what everyone else chooses across the board. But I would say this is definitely worth the pickup, even at the $10, $10, $11, $12 if you're into creature features. I was pretty impressed. I liked it a lot. So, yes, an exhausting day. My Georgia Bulldogs just escaped a win in Auburn. It was quite an anxiety-ridden game, but we got the win, and that's all that counts. So, and my Bills and Dolphins play tomorrow, so looking forward to that. Anyhow, yes, I do these things on the weekends, so we always end these things off with Go Bills.
This is not a dream. Not a dream.
We might be useful to